Harry is actually the mole in the Harrigan family.
There's a rat in this family.
In episode 8, Harry approaches Freddy, trying to recruit him to take control of the fentanyl business together. When Freddy asks the question about the mole,
"But one of your lawyers?"
No. Who is it, Freddy?
Freddy noticeably falls silent, and moments later we see him brutally murdered on the roof of a car. This serves as the best evidence that Harry is the mole, as Freddy likely realized Harry's treachery, forcing Harry to eliminate him. The fentanyl business is clearly the most prized asset for both families, and the truth is that Harry wants to monopolize it. As early as episode 1, there's a telling clue. When Harry talks to Bella about oat milk.
It's oat milk.
What can I eat? Have the oat milk and you just drink the normal milk.
Suppose we could. Keep a secret supply, drink it behind his back. Don't suppose he'd ever find out.
I don't think he would.
This is almost certainly a code phrase, with oat milk symbolizing the fentanyl trade. The line about consuming it behind Kevin's back directly implies plotting to seize the fentanyl business without Kevin's knowledge, a scheme Harry has been hatching for a long time. Conrad's suspicion of Harry also makes sense.
Anybody who was here that night would have told the police. There's only 2 people who know where Archie is buried, me and Harry.
Think about it. Harry gets arrested by the police immediately after burying a body. It's highly likely he voluntarily leaked information to the authorities to ensure his own safety and cast himself as an innocent bystander. As the gang's cleaner, Harry being targeted by the police is the biggest red flag of all. Harry is actually Conrad's illegitimate son.
It is you or your brother? I mean your other brother.
Maeve knows that besides Kevin and the deceased Brandon, Conrad has another son, and that is Harry. That's why Conrad has Harry do the work of a cleaner, because he must train his son. We all know that he values Harry very highly, and even only lets him handle Archie's body. And in the 8th episode, he made it too obvious.
Lost a son last night, but I also gained one. You're a prince, Harry.
Also, several times when Maeve suspected Harry was an insider threat, Conrad showed obvious disgust.
Sometimes when you're close to someone, when you trust them, you can't see what's right in front of your nose.
Are you toying with me, Maeve?
The person who can inherit the family business must have the means to handle anything. So under Conrad's guidance, Harry can completely take on any task. On the contrary, Kevin appears cowardly and incompetent, which is why Maeve is always dissatisfied with Harry. If Harry is not eliminated, then Kevin cannot inherit the Harrigan family business, and she must think of her son. As for Conrad, Harry is obviously more capable than Kevin. Harry can only be his son. He cannot value an outsider and tell all his secrets to an outsider. That's why Conrad was not angry when he learned that Harry knew Kat, because Kat is a very good resource for the Harrigan family. Conrad would not think Harry is disloyal, but only that his son is very capable. Harry is actually a police officer. That's why he has a connection with Kat. We all know that one of Conrad's sons and a daughter were kidnapped, and Kat resolved the incident with just one phone call. If Kat were merely the leader of a gang, she would have been drawn into gang disputes. Obviously, her power is beyond our imagination. She might even be in the military, but why would she do Harry a favor? This suggests that Harry's identity is no ordinary one. Being able to ask someone in the military for help gives me reason to suspect that Harry is an undercover police officer. His biggest flaw is his wife, Jan. We know that Jan and Alice haven't known each other for long, but meet frequently. Coincidentally, Alice is also a police officer, and every conversation between her and Jan is being recorded. This means Harry is using Jan to pass information to the police.
So is Harry there now?
That's why Conrad called and invited Alice to dinner. He's also suspicious of this mysterious person. In the next episode, Conrad might uncover Harry's identity through Alice's involvement. Additionally, the fact that Harry was questioned by the police is highly suspicious. Only he and Conrad knew where Archie's body was buried, so it's likely that Harry himself tipped off the police and intentionally got taken away by them. He's putting on an act for the Harrigan family so that no one will suspect him. Eddie and Kevin are actually brothers. That's why Eddie dared to kill Tommy. I know it sounds crazy, but Eddie isn't Kevin's son at all. He's Conrad's. Did you forget the humiliation Kevin suffered in prison? That experience might well have affected his ability to have children. Besides, we all know Bella was once Conrad's lover. They probably never broke things off and secretly had Kevin instead. In the 8th episode, Maeve clearly mentions the secret of another brother.
It is you or your brother?
With Brandon dead, Kevin thinks he's the only heir left in the family, but then Eddie appears in the shot. That's the best hint. We know Maeve is desperate for her son to inherit the family business, which explains why she indulges Eddie so excessively. No matter how many troubles Eddie causes, whether it's hurting someone in a bar or offending the Stevenson family, Maeve still dotes on him. This kind of overindulgence is clearly contradictory. If Eddie were really Maeve's grandson, as the next heir after Kevin, she'd focus on training him, but instead she treats him as an enemy, the other brother competing with Kevin. As long as Eddie is rendered incapable of competing, the heir can only be her son Kevin. You see, a useless person can't pose a threat. That's the power of killing with praise. Tell me, who do you think the illegitimate child really is? The real mole is Kevin. Freddy's death, the man brutally killed on the rooftop, is the best proof. This happened after Freddy met with Harry, clearly indicating he'd uncovered some insider information, like he might have known who the mole was.
But one of your lot is.
That's why Harry had to eliminate him, because the mole must be someone important to Harry. That narrows it down to Kevin and Jan. Harry and Kevin have known each other since prison.
Who's your dad? Comrade Harrigan.
But I think Jan is too naive. She didn't even guard against those around her and easily leaked Harry's whereabouts to Alice, so it's unlikely she's the mole. That leaves only Kevin. Kevin's motive for betraying Conrad is to replace his father and take control of the Harrigan family. His cowardly, obedient act is just a facade. Think about it. Kevin's wife, Bella, used to be Conrad's lover. How could any normal person tolerate that? It's even possible that Eddie isn't Kevin's biological son. Maybe he's his brother instead. So Kevin might have secretly allied with Richie and built his own power base, with even Harry supporting him. As Kevin's mother, Maeve has always wanted to help him rise to power. She might have even told Richie the location of the jewelry deal to eliminate Serafina's arrival, but she didn't expect to lose a son in the process. Looking at it another way, Kevin might have orchestrated the entire thing to make Richie eliminate both Serafina and Brandon. He's been resentful of Conrad for a long time and has been silently plotting to seize power. Harry's wife, Jan, is actually a police officer. That's why Alice suddenly appeared. Her role is to pass on intelligence and let the police know Harry's whereabouts.
So is Harry there now?
This is also the best way to quickly grasp the movements of the Harrigan family. As a police officer, Jan getting close to Harry is the best choice. Think about it. She is the person closest to Harry and can be said to know him like the back of her hand. So how could she not be aware of what Harry has done for the Harrigan family? Finding a scapegoat for Tommy's death, burying Archie's body, and settling the bar incident for Eddie. Even if she didn't witness these things firsthand, she would have discovered clues during their daily interaction. If Conrad hadn't been monitoring her, she could have transmitted this information herself instead of going through Alice.
You go anywhere and tell me.
It's also highly likely that Jan knows where Archie's body's buried. She could have found out by planting a tracker on Harry's phone. So the police likely arrested Harry based on information leaked by John. That's why they had no clue about the mole and could only suspect Harry, because they didn't know that the biggest threat was sleeping next to Harry. But now that Conrad has invited Alice to dinner, they will soon uncover John's true identity. It has to be said that someone as smart and capable as Harry wouldn't marry a foolish woman. Jan's apparent lack of vigilance towards Alice is all an act. She is a woman of deep mystery, which is why she can stand by Harry's side.
Both Harry and Lawyer O'Hara are moles, but they are loyal to different people. Harry was planted by Kat and the Halligan family, while the lawyer is actually an undercover agent sent by the police. That's why Conrad and Maeve were arrested at this dinner. Think about it. Both of them knew the burial place of Archie, so they are both suspects in leaking secrets to the police. But I tend to think it was the lawyer who leaked the information because Harry's conversation with the police was really odd. He didn't show any intention of defecting. If it was the lawyer, everything makes sense. In the latest episode, Jaime asks Harry to get rid of the mole, and in return, he agrees to do business with Harry.
You have a rat in your house. Fix it, then we have a deal.
Then he immediately calls O'Hara and asks to meet her. So obviously, he suspects O'Hara's identity. Moreover, the business he does must not be known to the police, so he must eliminate this threat. Throughout the Halligan family, only Harry and the lawyer are not blood relatives. So even if they betray Conrad, it's understandable. Also, Jaime's words in the bar are worth pondering. No wonder you want to leave. Obviously, Harry has long wanted to switch sides to Kat. That's what Jaime meant. Don't forget, Jaime just let Serafina go because he answered a call from Kat, and Harry has long wanted Kat to act as a go-between. She has helped him twice. He must pay something in return, such as offering his loyalty. Plus, it was he who let Alice go. Alice took the wine glass with DNA, and the Halligan family will inevitably face disaster. The downfall of the Halligan family is already doomed.